Starburns Audio.
Thank you for listening to the Starburns Audio Podcast Network. We have so many great comedy shows to add to your playlist. Just last week on Starburns Audio, on the Season 2 premiere of Humans Who Make Games, Adam Conover talks to comedian Ron Funches and Jean Goudon, creative director of the Assassin's Creed series. On Boogie Monster, Kyle Kinane and Dave Stone share a perfect recipe for the quarantined cook. This week on Profiles and Eccentricity, they cover the history of the Coruscant Unity cult, folks for whom a flat earth is ridiculous because they believe it's really a concave shell. Search Starburns Audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for our full list of shows, featuring hosts like Joe Coy, Amanda Seals, Jessica Chobot, and Jackie Johnson. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Starburns Audio. Enjoy the show. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep laughing.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Benders, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits the funny hits and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to another episode of
Dumb People Town.
Population you.
Population Heidecker.
Timothy
Oh.
Heidecker.
Welcome to the show.
Timothy,
Yes.
very nice.
Timothy.
We brought it up. We ranked it out.
We are so happy to have you on the show. It's being fans of yours for so long and friends of yours. And I just, truthfully, I feel like in all the projects, as we were talking before this show, that you've done, you've seemed to capture all the essence of this show.
Oh,
even in
thank
your
you.
songs that you've written about old Trumpy, that like, it's fascinating how dumb is winning.
There's a certain specific dumbness that I seem to have a higher, like the people that have the taste buds that.
I mean, dumb is fun. You look, again, we go back to a show that I just loved. Tom Goes to the Mayor, and I was like, he's fun.
Yeah.
The mayor's fun.
Yeah, he doesn't
Tom
care.
is not as fun.
No, he's very
He has
desperate for something to click, something to work, one of his ideas to connect.
Right. But it's like he is fun in his own way and he's fun to make fun of. But like the dumb is fun. And so we take down dumb on this show, or at least try and understand why it is happening the way that it is, why I feel like the world is getting dumber faster than global warming.
Yes.
Which is,
And it might be
somebody's
more
doing it.
detrimental. Yeah, it might be more detrimental.
I mean, there's clear science that people are getting dumber, although there are probably dumb deniers out there.
Right. And they're not listening to this show, so we're clear. We're safe.
We're safe.
The people listening to the show think that they're very smart.
Right.
Yes.
Agreed.
Which is kind of
So do the people talking on it.
It's a bit arrogant to be such an expert on what dumb is.
Guys, we
I'm
get
pretty
it.
stupid. Like, you could probably ask me 10 random questions
Fact
about
questions.
general things I wouldn't know.
No,
but
but we get it.
I have good instincts.
Yeah.
You do.
You
You
do.
know what's going on.
Well, that's why you're uniquely positioned and designed to help us on this show. We get great stories sent to us by our amazing fans, our dumb boots on
The
ground.
best.
And they send them to us, and Dan breaks them down. We've never seen them. Tim's never heard one. Dan, should we get into one right away?
Yeah, let's do
Jump
it.
Just
into
do it.
This
Why
was
they're
sent in by Sarah Dune.
Dude.
At Sarah M. Dune, Dunne.
Thank you.
And then she threw a 90
I think it's
on there.
done. I think it's done.
That's very Scottish.
I feel like
Dune.
I feel like she is a supporter
Aye.
of this show, and we've had this.
We've had
debate.
this
It's
discussion.
done.
It's done.
Dunne. You're going done.
No, he's saying the discussion is done.
No, I'm saying, this discussion is over.
Discussion is done.
Sarah
I'm saying
Dumb.
this discussion is done.
There you go.
He said Sarah Dumb.
At Sarah with an H. So yeah, that's true.
She starts a podcast, Done People Town.
Oh. She starts a fan group, Done People Town?
At Sarah H. M. Dune 90.
What
okay,
you got?
guys, we've got a Greenlee.
Okay.
Oh, what?
man.
A Greenlee. So now let's explain this to you. There is a So sometimes
Journalist is a very loose term that I would use.
Sometimes the
to describe
dumb
this guy.
comes from the people who are doing dumb things. Sometimes it's the police and the way they react to them. Sometimes it's the guy or woman journalist who writes the article. There's dumb in that too.
Some of them write in pun only. Some of them write in like newspeak sing song. Like you can hear it when you're reading it. It was a case no one will forget.
Right. It's like the two newscasters.
Right. Sure. Of course. Yeah.
So the idea, though, that
This guy, Will Greenlee.
Will Greenlee writes for the TPC Palm, which I believe is in Florida, right?
Yeah.
And
very much.
it is our theory, and I guess we could find this out,
I think
but
it's
we
the
just
TC Palm, not the TPC.
He put 6 pounds of words in a 3-pound bag.
right. I think he has like a 1,500 word. That's what he's got to fill.
Right.
And so what
He'll
does
often explain to you what a broom is.
Right.
Like in
That's
basic
not a
terms.
lie. One time
Things
he
that-
told us how an anchor works. He wrote
He's like
that
Sean
out.
Penn. He's like,
He is Sean.
did you read that Sean Penn op-ed about
I did not.
Bradley Cooper? It's the greatest
it
thing.
is.
Really?
It is insane.
It's
He wrote it on. He watched A Star Is Born on acid. That's the only way that it makes any
Perfect.
sense.
Yeah.
And then he wrote the article on cocaine.
So there's just a ton of.
It's like this is. He literally says this is one of the best movies I've ever seen, and it's insane. I'm sorry to digress here.
No,
but
don't worry about it.
His premise is essentially. I am so angry that this movie probably won't win the Academy Award. but then he wraps it up with, but awards are bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
Awards are bullshit.
You know what
All
the
right, well
real-
then don't care. Don't why
Yeah,
why
so
get
am I.
involved?
Why are you
in
so
this?
angry? But the real award
Yeah.
is that I wrote this article about
Yeah.
it. So
So I
congratulations.
gave
It's
him my
pretty
award.
crazy.
I'm going to read this today.
He got a pen award.
So yeah, he got a pen. You got a penny? You got a penny?
So Greenlee, he always adds extra stuff that is not relevant. He thinks it's relevant. It's tangentially ties into something with the show. And
So we play a game, which you'll quickly understand. This is so fun. Is it Greenlee or is it Dan impersonating Greenlee?
who's embellishing this article?
Right.
Is it
Okay.
Dan or is it
Right.
Greenlee? So you will
Nice,
understand
nice,
quickly.
nice.
So as we
And the
hear
article is usually fun too.
yeah. Okay. So here we go.
This was sent in by Sarah Dune.
So this isn't especially a stupid person doing something. It's
No,
the art.
no,
the art-
there's that
There's
too.
that
Dumb
too.
story.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Dumb story,
This is
dumbly covered.
Right.
This is a double.
Double.
I have a confession. I got so wrapped up in what he wrote, I barely read this story.
Okay, this is
I
great.
don't-
So this will be good.
it might be tragic.
You were studying the syntax and
Yes.
the writing style,
Yes.
less the
This
content.
is discovery for you, Dan.
Ponce de Leon and Betsy Ross were arrested at the Treasure Coast on drug-related charges.
The Betsy Ross?
And the Ponce de Leon.
Wait, what?
To me,
Yeah,
this
I
is-
just didn't even listen to Ponce de Leon.
I know. This is Florida's power couple.
Is Ross Dressed for Less based on Betsy Ross because she sewed a lot of stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, she
Of
did a lot of
course
her
it
I
is.
don't know if
own
that's
scenes.
true.
Yeah, everything has a patch on it at Ross Dress for Less.
St. Lucie County Sheriff's investigators jailed Francisco Ponce de Leon on a felony marijuana charge after a December 24th traffic stop in Port St. Lucie.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Wow.
Day of our Lord.
Investigators.
Night
Day
before.
before
he,
our Lord.
He just so he
Well,
maybe
as Jews, it's the day of our Lord.
Day of our Lord.
It's before he.
So he
The
just
labor pains had begun for Virgin Mary. Oh, I gotta get to this table.
Smoke this.
was she dilated the night before? That's
We
just
don't
my
know.
question. We don't know.
Right.
Braxton Hicks happened 3 weeks
Braxton Hicks to me, those do you remember? Remember those
Yeah, I
are
have
like
kids, yeah.
those are the Braxton Hicks
Are false labor pains
that
early
come
in a
up-
pregnancy.
To me, Braxton Hicks sounds like a quarterback for Ohio State.
100%.
Well, we know it was night. Well, I mean, we know it was nighttime when he was in the manger. He was alive.
But
with
did
the
that
star.
happen on the 25th at night? Or
I think my idea is that he was born in the morning.
okay.
Early in the
Or like
morning,
a 6
24th
a.m.
into the 25th.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So labor began on the 24th. We should be celebrating
That's
that.
canon. That's canon.
I'm so glad we figured this out. So
Okay. Investigators reported Ponce de Leon was driving a BMW in which they found hash oil in a gold Versace box. Gianni Versace, usually referred to simply as Versace, is an Italian luxury fashion company
Got
and
it.
trade name founded by Gianni Versace in 1978. The Versace logo is the head of Medusa, a Greek mythological figure.
Now,
Figure.
is this? Are we doing it? Is this?
Sorry for my cough.
Is this Greenlee or is this Dan writing that?
can-
now you can guess first.
Okay.
in the Tig slot, Tig was the first person to guess
second?
between the two of us, or third. So you can decide where you want to guess.
Well, let me see if this is fair. Can I say that the Medusa is your add-on? The Medusa fact.
It's a Medusa add-on. So a Greenlee with a Medusa add-on by Dan.
Okay.
It's fair.
Yeah, that's
a
fair.
good one.
Dan or Jay?
That's Greenlee all the way.
I think it's Dan.
Okay. The person who, after they said that they found hash oil in a gold Versace box, or as I like to call it, Versace, the person who wrote this line, Gianni Versace, usually referred to simply as Versace, is an Italian luxury fashion company, a trade name founded by Gianni Versace in 1978. The Versace logo is the head of Medusa, a Greek mythological figure. That entire thing was written by, get your answers in now, Townies, and you'd be right if you said Daniel Van Kirk.
I'll take it.
You snuffed a
I
little
got
bit
half
out.
a point.
Yes.
Yeah, you get a
Yeah,
half
half a
point.
point.
Half point.
Damn it.
That was pretty ridiculous.
That is.
Not too ridiculous for this.
Okay.
No.
Right.
I mean, it fooled
Yeah,
Jay, who
yeah.
has heard many a Greenlee.
I'm easily fooled. I'm not even easily fooled.
Jay's familiar with the Greenlee canon.
Ponce de Leon is a resident of Port St. Lucie. It should also be noted he is not to be confused with Juan Ponce de Leon, the Spanish explorer who searched the fabled Fountain of Youth. Ponce de Leon, who died in 1521 in Cuba, is credited as the first person to travel from Europe to reach Florida. Who said that?
Well, now, I mean, you're not going to go 2 in a row making them up, but maybe you are. It's the whole
That's the
Princess
whole
Bride
shell
thing.
game.
That's right.
I know.
It's a shell game.
It's a shell game.
You don't have to go first.
Yeah, I won't go first.
Okay,
Why would
Jay,
I
you
go
go.
first?
That is Greenlee.
I thi-
I'm so in on the Greenlee.
I think that's Greenlee too.
I think it's Greenlee having a little fun.
Okay, the answer is the person who wants to make sure you understand that this Ponce de Leon is not
the one from
Ponce de
1500s.
Leon,
Explorer.
1521.
Thank you for that.
That was written by Greenlee.
Yes.
Okay.
Knew it.
Got it.
Knew it. Felt it.
Meanwhile, Indian River County Sheriff's deputies hauled Betsy Ross to jail after a December 28th traffic stop in Vero Beach. How we got 4 days ahead and she's still tied into this is beyond me.
I think it's
He's
like
just trying to tie two historical figures with like minor.
Greenlee saw an opportunity.
Yes.
He
he's
might as well
connecting
have fun.
it. Yeah.
Investigators say Ross didn't make complete stops at all stop signs in her purple Chrysler PT Cruiser. She is also accused of not wearing her seatbelt. You feeling it?
Yep.
Ross of Vero Beach was arrested on a misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia charge after investigators say they found a meth pipe in her purse and a marijuana roach in her PT Cruiser. The roach, in this sense, is not of the creepy crawler kind, but instead refers to the end of a marijuana joint, which cannot be smoked without a roach clip, because the smoker's fingers would be burnt. The roach contains the most resin and is stronger than the rest of the joint because THC smoke has passed through it and settled on it, which with each inhalation. A roach is often saved and smoked in
Am
a
I right?
joint
He
made
needs
from other
1,500
roaches,
words.
Yeah.
which is much stronger than a normal joint.
You said that already.
So you're not breaking these. Like my first guess in the
Once it
first round,
deviates,
it's either
deviates
one or
until
the
it
other.
one or
ends.
the
Yeah.
other.
Good.
So what do you think?
My thing. So we're guessing
Guessing
on
on
that
that?
on the roach.
Yeah, the
That
roach.
seems irrelevant to
That's
me.
Greenlee.
The tangent.
That's
I'm
Greenlee.
saying
Greenlee.
that's
It's
Greenlee all the way.
I'll go that it's you. I'll
Dan.
say it's
Okay.
Dan.
Dan.
Okay. The person who wrote...
You're like
You do not have to repeat.
I
it.
just have a instinct
not
that you
going to.
enjoy personally writing that kind of drug language, drug fan fiction.
Yeah.
The person who
The drug
made sure
splanation.
everyone knew exactly what type of roach they were talking about and why it qualifies as one was written by me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Heidecker.
I know.
Jesus.
Yeah, baby.
Ridiculous. That
You want
was
to know
so
what's
good.
really sad, guys?
I'm 1 for 3.
How fun was it
I'm
to write
only
that?
90% sure.
If you wrote that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Part of me is like, wait, did I write
Oh,
that?
I'm sure you did.
I'm not joking.
Also, is
You've been
that
I'm
true?
not joking.
You
You've been
review
sick.
your
So it
revisions.
might not be true either, right?
Yeah,
like,
so-
Right.
okay, cool. I was like, you learn something new every day.
By the way,
There's more-
that could be Will Greenlee's on his epitaph, on his tombstone.
Does he have any
I'm only
awareness?
90% sure.
Does he have any awareness of this show or this?
I mean, he gets tweeted at a lot.
okay.
And I recently, this week, I think I had somebody be like, do you think they're trying to figure out why they're getting so much web traffic to his stories because of this show?
Yeah,
you'd
Because it's
think-
all the
you'd
time.
think you'd be as a reporter, you'd be curious.
yes,
He's got
It's in your blood.
it's in his nature.
podcasts or radio show.
I know.
You could be affecting his entire writing style.
Like helping him
become
lean into it.
self-conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he gets a promotion.
Self-conscious or leans into it, knowing that
Either
that's
one.
creating
That's what he's saying.
fans.
That
There's
it's
people doing like real hard-hitting journalism, and they're getting yelled at by like their
Copy
their
editors.
26-year-old who's in charge of like web traffic.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know why you guys can't all be like Greenlee
Yeah.
here.
I mean, the crazy.
crushing
So we'll do this show live. We're doing a live one at Largo on the 4th, and the final segment of the show when we do it live, we have our fans come up and they read. They come to the mic and they bring stories that they. And put it this way: at one of our live shows recently, a fan came up to the mic and said, "We got ourselves a Greenlee,"
And the crowd went crazy.
crazy
For this
so
guy.
He is a bit of a
He's a
figure.
cultural
He's a figure.
I'm going to be doing shows in Florida. I'd love to find him.
Oh man,
Oh, dude, you
Find
should meet
him
him and
and
have
Flato.
lunch with him. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. This
I've lost the track of what this story is
So
about.
Betsy
See,
Ross,
you know what, Tim?
Betsy
Me
Ross,
too.
Betsy
Okay,
Ross
good.
and Ponce
That's
de
what I
Leon
realized.
both picked up on drug
picked up on drug
charges.
paraphernalia charges.
Should be just like a police blotter, like
I
just
know.
like a paragraph. The
Yes,
whole story.
at most.
Yeah.
At most.
Yeah.
Do sense.
This Betsy Ross is not the same Betsy Ross who, according to Family Stories, helped design and make the first United States flag in the 1770s. That Betsy Ross, a seamstress born in Pennsylvania, died in 1836. Who said that, me or Greenlee?
Oh, come on.
Now you're so.
See,
Now I'm very confused.
See,
you start
The
to
last
doubt.
one was you,
the
Dan?
last one was him.
So then I mean,
There is no rhyme or reason.
No.
One time Dan did a story where every single one was him. Like he fucked with us so bad.
I found a normal Greenlee and I fucked it up.
You.
I think it's Greenlee, but he's got a self-awareness that he's been listening to this podcast. He's doing it for you.
A tainted Greenlee is what you're saying? All right, I think it's Dan.
Okay.
That's Greenlee.
Randy says me.
I'm the only one who says you.
Okay.
I'm 1 for 3.
Betsy Ross, a seamstress born in Pennsylvania, died in 1836. The person who gave you that fact was Greenlee.
Okay,
Nice.
Is anyone keeping score?
You're
I think we're
3
pretty
for
good.
4.
Okay, but let's
And,
just.
Two and a half.
2.5 for 4.
Yeah.
But just if you're counting, he did not describe Ponce de Leon.
No, he did.
Oh, he did. I
He
thought
did.
that was you.
No, he did Ponce. I did the Roach
Oh, you did the Roach. Okay,
And you
fine.
did
All right,
Versace.
fine, good.
and
no.
Versace.
And
Yeah.
Roach. Oh, God.
Yes.
Okay, next.
We have two more fun things about
Okay,
this
okay.
story. One of them is this. Every once in a while, I've recently noticed that in the TC Palm, they have little links to other articles that
it's
just
the
say
best.
more. I'm going to read you the 3 mores that also appear within this story that could send you down a whole TC
Let's
Palm
hear it.
rabbit hole.
Let's hear
What's
it.
TC stand for? I'm sorry. Tampa
I
Club.
don't know.
Tampa Clearwater?
Let's make it up and never
Okay.
change whatever we decide.
Tampa
right?
Clearwater.
Clearwater.
And we-
Are those anywhere near each other?
No.
And anybody, and anybody on Twitter who I don't know why anyone would want to correct people on a
Tallahassee,
podcast.
yeah.
but
You
let's
know,
say
most
there are
people-
people out
Tallahassee
there.
College.
None of us are looking.
I know. Do not look it up.
Do not
Jason,
look it up. Jay, put your phone away.
when we get our tweets,
Terry Crews?
being yelled at, whatever they tell you, just write back wrong, and
Okay.
tag all of us in it as well.
I'm tagging Heidecker in everything.
Okay, here's the first more. Ready? More. Grinch has sex in bathroom, wrecks Christmas decorations. What is that story?
What are the Christmas decorations doing in the bathrooms?
Exactly. Although
Honey, where's the tree this year? I set it up in the bathroom.
It's in
Yeah.
the toilet.
my Aunt Connie does a full bathroom Christmas decoration. I am not, guys.
No, she does
I am not lying. There's a little snowman in there that talks to you, and you go, "What are you doing?" When you walk in, it's like
Yeah.
a sensor thing.
By the way, if you want to have a
nuts.
full psychotic breakdown, watch the Jim Carrey, Ron Howard Grinch. It's insane.
Oh, I know. In the
It-
whole origin story,
It's all like shot in that like fisheye
Yeah.
wide
yeah.
angle lens.
Yeah.
It's like real. The colors are like just. It's very upset. I had to watch it around on Christmas with my kids.
Fear and Loathing in Whoville.
Yeah, it was basically that.
Yeah, it is.
Like hang on a second, was Tim Burton in everyone's ear here?
Wait, ready for another one? This is another more in this story. More. Witchcraft victim swings long sword in Fort Pierce.
Wait, witchcraft victim.
Swings long sword.
I mean, sometimes you get pushed to the point. Like
Yeah.
he swings he carries a big stick like that. That is
Right.
like a thing that people say about
I never
people.
want to blame
Swings
the
a sword.
I never want to blame the witchcraft victim.
Oh,
ever. But in this case, you
Did
can.
you see what he was wearing?
I guarantee
See
you,
what he was swinging.
there's a man and woman somewhere in Florida using a sword as a cane.
For sure.
For sure.
There's a man in Florida using a sword as a toothpick.
Then there's a man behind him planting little seeds in the little gash that it's planted.
That is
in the sword.
That
That'd be
person
beautiful
is making
imagery.
that person is making the world a better place.
That would be the most beautiful.
Planting apple trees.
That would be the most beautiful thing.
Here's the last
Little
more.
fable.
Here's the last more. Ready? More. Why is a naked man in my home? That's it. That's on the Florida flag.
Why is there
Naked man in
my home?
All right, we're gonna get out of here. This.
Not in my house. In my home.
In my home. My home.
You guys can pass this around. We are gonna play Guess the Agey
Okay.
on how old is Betsy Ross.
Okay.
Not Betsy Ross
Not
from the
Betsy-
1770s.
Can you give a very brief summary of the core of what this story is?
Two people
separate
with historical names,
Yeah.
right around Christmas, committed crimes and got
Drug crimes.
paraphernalia
Drug crimes.
charges.
Busted with
And
drug.
Greenlee thought, let me tie these two strings together.
They were not together?
No. One was on the 24th and one was on the 28th.
Oh, gotcha.
They're pre.
Okay, and a game we like to play is Guess the Agey.
Too much fun leaves marks in life. Living hard, you'll pay the price. Who is gonna get it right? Guess the age. Guess the age.
Usually we run down the
Right.
facts of what we know about this person. So for Betsy
This
Ross,
has nothing to do with Steve Agee?
she's got
No.
him.
Well, he
okay,
was the one of the first ones who
Okay.
did it with.
to play it. Yes.
He's one of
You
the
could probably
first
drop that now.
ones-
Just say,
Guess
just an
never.
idea.
Never.
So here's what we know about Betsy Ross. Okay,
She had a meth pipe in her purse.
Right. Pipe in her purse.
drives a PT
Drives a
Cruiser.
Purple
PT Cruiser.
PT Cruiser.
Purple
Right.
PT
And a
Cruiser.
roach
And a
clip.
roach clip in the
Okay,
cruiser.
you guys can and I'm gonna let you get a look at her.
Which, by the way,
Oh.
Sometimes helps and
sometimes that
sometimes
does not
it's
help.
confusing.
Sometimes that muddles the story.
Okay, pass it around.
This will be on the Dumb People Town Facebook page.
Is she
Okay.
getting a haircut? What is?
Join it.
Oh, dear.
She
Somebody,
has a cape.
She's the person that that started the witchcraft.
That's right. She has a cape of sorts.
No, she's getting her haircut.
That's what I said. She's getting her haircut.
She does look
No,
like
it's
the
a mugshot.
she
right?
does look like the woman in the Disney Sword in the Stone that duels with Merlin.
Maybe.
I'll take your word for that.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
So
Tim,
how old is
do
she?
you want to go first, Tig,
Let
or
me see
third?
one more quick look.
One more quick look.
I'll say 57.
57 years
And
old from
I
Tim
would say
Heidecker.
if she was 57, she looks pretty good.
Okay, yeah.
and
I
then
mean, the hair's probably dyed.
Yes.
But
And then one commenter hasn't aged well.
Yeah.
And then 4 likes.
4 likes.
I would say she is 48.
48 years
So
old.
like a
from
year
Randy
older
Sklar.
than me.
So we have
A year
57
older
from
than
Tim,
us.
48
A year older than
from
us.
Randy Sklar. Jason.
She has a meth pipe in her purse. This woman is 41.
I thought you were going to say
Oh.
22.
No.
So you're going to probably say 41, but looks 57.
Yes.
Okay, 41 from Jay,
48 for me.
48 from Ran, 57.
The
from Tim.
Heinz guess.
Okay. Townies,
Special
get your
sauce,
answers in right
special
now.
sauce.
Because in this version or round of Guess the Agey, Betsy Ross is 46 years old.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Yes.
Jesus, that's
Thank
a
you.
year younger than us.
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
a
Can
year.
I see her again?
She
Look at
looks
her.
Or you
a
can
lot.
see her as
Look at her
many
and
times
just
as you need.
Trouble.
Tell us
She
how
looks
good
a
we
lot
look.
older than us. I
Oh
mean,
my God. Yeah, that's meth.
That's meth.
That'll
That's just all meth.
add a decade.
Wow.
It
Or
added
2.
11 years to her. All
I
right.
know.
Is that the first story down?
That's first story
First
down.
story in the books. We are off and running with Tim Heidecker.
What about Ponce? We don't know. We don't care
know.
about
We
him.
don't care. We don't care.
I can tell you
Yeah,
You wanna
just
tell us how old he is. Should we guess?
if you want to.
Sure. Let's guess him too. Why
Okay.
not?
no picture.
I'm not. It'll give it away.
Okay.
Okay. He's close to his look.
So he had in a Versace case.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
He had hash oil
Yes.
and anything else.
I do not believe so.
Just hash oil in a Versace case. That's what we know about him.
He was
23.
driving a BMW.
22?
23.
23.
Driving a BMW, hash oil in a gold Versace box.
Jay.
23 from Tim. Jay.
19.
19 from Jason Sklar.
29.
29 from
His
Randy.
Saturn is returning.
All right, little bonus one. I didn't know he would do this, but I like it. Ponce de Leon is 21 years old.
nice.
Splitting it,
Split
boys.
between us.
Splitting
Very
it.
good.
Okay,
And
very
he
good.
is a Versace boy.
Oh, yeah. Look at this guy.
That's a square head.
That is a square.
There's a lot of good hair.
It's a
He's got
block
good hair.
jaw.
He looks like Wreck-It Ralph's evil brother. That's
There you
story
go.
one,
Story
friends.
one, down in the books. Tim Heidecker's with us.
Story one.
When we come back, we'll talk to him a little bit about some of the stuff he's got going on, and we'll be right back.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
It's a trying time that challenges all of our basic assumptions. However, one thing that brings us all together is our common humanity. Now, more than ever, teams must come together and work together to solve big challenges. And Trello is here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format. Plus, tons of features that make working with your team functional and just plain fun. Teams of all shapes and sizes and companies like Google, Fender, and even Costco all use Trello to collaborate and get work done. With Trello, you can work with your team wherever you are, whether it's at home or in an office. No matter what device you're using, computer, tablet, or phone, Trello syncs across all of them, so you can stay up to date on all the things your team cares about. Keep your workflow going from wherever you are with Trello. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com. Trello.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to Dumb People Town. We want to remind people March 4th.
Oh, man.
Which
Largo.
is, someone reminded me, is the only date on the calendar that is a command. March 4th.
March 4th.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's a Monday night.
March
Come-
4th to Largo, and
Yes.
we've got
Oh, my gosh.
Karen Kilgariff is our guest. John Hamm will be there, and Langhorne Slim will be playing music.
Oh,
So
neat.
Just
Yeah.
fun show. Do it live. When we do
Just
another
make
live, Heidecker will come and do a live one.
Yeah,
with
you
us.
can come
I'm
and
not
do
in that Largo scene. I don't
How
know
about-
what
well,
it is.
how about we pull
Everyone-
you in?
Nick Kroll and friends, everybody and friends,
Well,
and
we'll
I'm
pull-
friends, but no one ever asked me to come
So then
down.
we're gonna when we do one in
It's
the
a
future.
little far west for me, though.
Is it?
It's a
I
little
will
bit of a
make you do it.
haul.
Here's the deal. If you come and do it,
Parking is a problem.
we can park behind there.
All right.
If you come and do it, you will be the guest and also the musical
How about
guest.
the guest? Well, that's nice. Guest
That'd be
of
cool.
honor.
Guest
Guest
of
of
honor
honor.
and the musical guest of honor. But speaking of, you have live shows. You're doing some on cinema shows.
Yes.
Go to where to find out.
TimHeidecker.com/events.
Great.
They're all there. But mostly March, April and May, going all over the middle of the country and the
Great.
South. And it's a very fun show. We've been doing it off and on for the past few months, and it's a lot of fun, is all I can say. folks.
Get there.
Go see him live. Fantastic. And I actually have been loving the Trump songs that
Oh,
you've been
thank you.
doing. And you
You have a new one.
played one for us today.
I just wrote it this morning before I got over here, and it was last night. His physical came out, and there's this. It's just the whole everything that's going on the past couple of years makes you feel like you're going crazy.
Yes.
And it's always the little things that seem to get me even like really this doesn't make any sense, because the physical comes out, it says he's 6'3" and he's 243 pounds, 7 pounds. And there's so much evidence. There's so many. And it's like we shouldn't really care about this. Who really cares? But there's all this evidence of you see him next to people that are 6'3", and he's shorter.
He's
and
way shorter.
It just makes you feel like you're going nuts.
So you wrote.
And so I wrote a little song.
Okay, we're gonna
inspired
play.
by
All
that.
right, Brennan's gonna play a little clip of the song, and then people can pick up the songs on iTunes,
Yeah,
right?
it's no.
Where we go?
The new ones, when I try to put stuff out like the next day,
Right.
Like whenever stuff's happening.
Where
So
can they hear
If you go
those?
to Bandcamp, that's Tim Heidecker's Bandcamp.
Great. It is a great.
And I put everything out for charity, because I
Great.
just like making music. This one is the charity is for the American Diabetes Association.
Perfect.
Hilarious.
Well, it is actually. You played us the whole song, or most of the
Let's-
song.
yeah,
It's hilarious.
let's
Let's
listen to
listen to a clip.
I'll stand up straight, put my back to the wall. You'll measure me to see how tall. Write it down, put 6'3", 'cause I'll be as tall as I wanna be. You like your job, you like where you are. I don't wanna see you fall so far. If you're smart, you'll listen to me, 'cause I'll be as tall as I wanna be. I'll be as tall as I wanna be.
I love it. I love the country vibe.
I love the country vibe, and
I believe if you played that, if that song got popular, there'd be a point in the song where everyone would be singing.
Yeah, play it at the
Singing
old Irish
chorus.
pub.
Yes, singing the chorus. So there's that, and then podcast.
Yeah, the office hours,
Hours.
which we do here at with Starburns
Yeah.
as well, and it's a lot of fun. I take calls live. There's no screening going on, so
I
we get a
love
lot of crazy people.
How do you let
know
folks know that, okay, we're about to go live?
I tweet
out.
it,
Yeah.
and then we do it on YouTube Live, and then it turns into a podcast. But I love it because I use Skype, or I don't know why, but we have this international audience, and I think because I do it in the morning, it's always like middle of the night in London or in Australia. It's weird. It's weird times, so I get a lot of people all over the world calling in, Sweden, and like all these crazy places. They're not crazy on their own, but it's just
It is
fun.
crazy that
it's
that's
fun to
what
just
you're
be able to like,
interacting
oh, I'm suddenly talking to somebody in Norway.
It's amazing.
And I'm like, what is life like that? Because we don't know. We don't know.
Phenomenal.
Who knows?
I often think of that.
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing in Reykjavik
What's going on?
right now?
What's life like? Do you care about what's happening here and all this? But everyone's
Are they? Do they open up to you? Are people cool to like because they have
Absolutely.
their things they want to ask you, but you
Yeah,
can go
I mean,
the
the
other
last
way
thing
with
I
it
want to
too.
talk about is like, people call me and say I'm a fan, or I want to asking me questions about our stuff.
You
And I'm
wanna
like,
go
I
down
don't
the
want to. I
rabbit
want to
hole.
talk about what you are.
Yeah.
What's, what's your job like? What's your relationship like? And that kind
What
of
was?
stuff.
Can you remember a memorable call that you gotten on office hours that that went in a direction you didn't think it would go in? Or
I mean, well, there was a guy that called in who had gotten run over by a train. Yeah, and had had his legs amputated.
yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
so we talked about like the moment by moment
Yes, that's what I would want,
story
too.
about what that was like and what is it like
When did
now
you
for
realize
him.
that I'm about to get run over
Yeah.
by this train?
That is. Did he think he could beat it across the track?
I think he doesn't remember why. I think he was probably drunk. I think. And then a longtime listener who calls in all the time is a really funny, nice guy named Phil who had a stroke last week.
Oh
He
my
had a
God.
real stroke, like
No way.
a stroke. And so the audience loves him, and I love him, and we we talked about like
How's
what
he doing?
what do you do when he's doing good. I made fun of him because I was expecting him to sound like this,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And that's that's not
He was
a nice
normal.
thing, but he was
No,
normal. He was very he was good, but just to hear like what is that experience like? It was cool. It was really kind of emotional.
Fascinating. Office hours, and people can go back and listen to the. Even though it's live, it gets
Oh
put
yeah,
up, and
yeah.
so you can go back and hear it.
Does, yeah, it's not like it's
not timely,
Not
it's green,
timely.
it's
yeah,
evergreen.
It's
But don't
evergreen.
listen to it, an old one, and think you can call in at that moment.
That would be a mistake. That's a Mr. Show sketch, right?
We record last week's show.
Last
Yeah.
week's show,
Yeah.
the week before. It's one of my favorite sketches ever. All right, let's get back into another story, right? Shall we,
what do you
Daniel?
got?
What do we
Let's do
have?
it. Okay. This was sent in by Fur, F-E-R, and then there's like a B emoticon. I don't really understand.
Furby?
I'm
Furby.
anti-fur.
I think it's a
Furby.
Furby. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
people
I
have
guess so.
kids.
At original Ferg with
Oh.
a G in the actual handle.
Ferguson
or Fergie from
or
the Black
Fergie
Eyed
from the
Peas.
Black Eyed Peas.
It could be her or him.
It's
her.
her.
Yeah.
Want ready for this headline?
By the way, I would love to create a line of Furbies that look like Fergie, and sing like. Do you know? So there
Like
are
a
these.
lot of legal.
Just sing Big Girls Don't Cry all the time.
No, sing a
No, sings the
jazzy
jazzy
version.
version of the national anthem like she did at the NBA All-Star game. No, but Fergie, so Furbies, there are some that if you don't treat like they're like little baby, kind of like the next generation of Tamagotchi eggs, where they're,
Right.
if you don't take care of them, they're nice and sweet and like, oh my God, oh God. And then if you don't take care of them, they turn into this other mean character like,
Or if you don't spend like an hour in the morning getting it all ready, it looks like a meth head.
Right.
so I would
10 years older.
So I would love to do like a series of those that then they just become like Fergie and then they become another singer.
Will I am.
Oh, good luck with that project.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I believe
Should be
in
fun.
it. I'm looking
just
for
ideas.
$100,000.
That's all I need. The Shark Tank.
Okay, ready for the headline on this?
Sklark Tank.
Drunk woman fights inflatable snowman.
Okay, now
Yes.
here we go.
I like this.
Okay,
Stop.
those inflatable, like they blow air in them, and
Yes.
they're, right.
Yeah. Stop looking at me.
Yeah.
When I come back out,
She definitely heard something
After
from
I-
that thing's mouth.
after I
Say
drop
it
off
to my
this-
face.
Yeah.
I'll knock that carrot out. You son
After
of a
I drop
bitch.
off this Postmates, you better be gone when I come back.
She was that drunk.
What made this a? Was she arrested? Sorry. Well, you read the story.
A blow-up Frosty, the snowman, I don't know why I paused there, survived an attack by an intoxicated woman early Monday morning, according to a Casper police report.
So early Monday morning means out all night drinking.
All night
Sunday.
All night Sunday.
Sunday night drinking.
Yes, which probably since it's Sunday started out as day drinking.
Yeah.
She definitely said to the inflatable snowman, I broke up with him.
Two officers responded to a disturbance call at 426 South Center Street, add that to the Dumb People Town walking tour, at 2:47 a.m., where a woman had come to a man's apartment in the building and barged inside.
Oh.
No, this is not okay.
This is not.
The man said he heard banging on his door, opened it. Now, I'm not going to victim blame.
But
No, but do not open
your door.
Who's there?
Do not open your door. Even,
Don't
I know people are like, well, if they open it slowly. I'm like, that
Well, what
doesn't
is
matter.
What does she need?
I'm also imagining that this is like one of those cheap apartment buildings where like everything's paper thin.
Yes,
and, like,
yes.
She could basically bash the door down.
Yeah.
She was knocking on the other door behind him, and
Yeah,
he's like,
everything that happens in that hallway is like fully audible in
To
the
everyone.
apartment.
It's like one of those whisper tunnels where
Yeah.
like, you can hear on this side.
Right.
The man said he heard banging on his door,
Right.
opened it, and
who?
Alexis Sue Burns. That's her name. Alexis Sue Burns.
Alexis Sue Burns. Alexis Sue Burns in every situation. She always comes in hot.
I'm not trying to name shame, but Alexis Sue does not roll off the tongue.
Alexis Sue.
Alexis
Alexis
Sue.
Sue.
You're already slurring your words just by giving
Are
people
you
your
drunk? I'm just saying my name.
Alexis Sue.
That's the
Burns.
command I give to my my luxury car when I wanted to litigate the car in front of me. Alexis Sue.
She pushed her way inside, unwelcome and unknown by him. He doesn't even know Alexis Sue Burns, but who really
She's
does?
in the house.
Who really does
Yeah,
know?
right.
Excuse me.
She's in the house.
I love this. He asked her who she was, what was wrong,
Who are you?
What is wrong?
What is wrong?
and she told him to, quote, sit the fuck down.
You sit the fuck down.
That
Oh.
is. I've always said.
I wonder if he did it. Like
I've
a
always-
command comes so quickly
Yeah, yeah.
and so
And so-
surprising
Yeah.
to
I will-
me.
all right,
I got to.
I'm sitting.
Damn, Alexis, this is what we fight about all the time.
I just love, to me, one of my favorite like introductions of a character ever in a movie is Melissa McCarthy in Bridesmaids. Like when she's first in the first conversation she has, she jumps in like they've been having the conversation for like 20 minutes before that. That's exactly what
Yes.
this person is. Sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
Like she's running a board meeting when she walks through that door.
There's long strides.
Right. Who are you? What's
Go
wrong?
on, sit.
Sit the fuck down. That was right before she told him that. Right before he picked her up and pushed her outside. He
Yeah.
then
He was like,
fireman
we're
carried
not
So
her.
he didn't sit down.
No,
He did not. He did not. He didn't listen.
He locked the door, called police, and described the younger woman who was wearing a black shirt and no coat.
Yep.
I
It's
thought you were
winter.
gonna say no pants.
I know.
No pants would have been.
Okay, no coat, black
No
shirt.
coat. No coat. She walked down a stairway, and the man was able to hear her screaming and yelling outside and in the street.
Thin walls.
Which to me means she's still having a conversation with him.
It's his
the
fault.
whole way
It's
down
his-
out
it's
the
his
building.
How
fault.
dare
Yes.
he? She's now down below outside.
Right. This is what the person who wrote this story wrote. He then hears her outside yelling down the hall and in the street. Next sentence. Then it got really weird.
Then it got weird.
This is a normal Sunday night.
Right. 100%.
For this for the Pheasant Run apartment complex,
Pheasant down.
Aging Oaks.
the Agent Oaks apartment complex.
For the Cadbury arms.
I like the royal one. Yeah. Knightsbridge Suites.
Upon arrival,
Canterbury Fields apartment.
Caspian Court. I once was on the road doing shows with my buddy, and he's also my feature on my tour. And Andrew Youngblood, and we heard a commercial or a news report about Caspian Court, which then sent me into a 20-minute bit of just singing songs about Caspian Court. I couldn't stop myself. I was like, Caspian Court, Caspian Court, come inside. And it got darker and darker as I did it. Yeah. It like eventually became like a very racist community for divorcees.
Oh, wow. It just took a dark turn.
Everyone I tried to just make it darker.
I could be wrong, but I believe the band Fish has done an entire concept album called Caspian Court.
Nice.
You are not wrong. In the court of Caspian Count.
Yes. quote, as the officer pulled up in his patrol car, the female... Oh, hold on, I skipped. Quote, upon arrival, the officer observed the described female wrestling with a blow-up snowman Christmas decoration in front of Magic City stoves. Details mean everything, people.
So the Caspian Court is in walking distance to
Magic City Stoves.
Magic City Stoves.
No
Magic
ovens.
City Stoves.
No ovens, just stoves.
Just stoves. Hey,
and they're always correct.
I'm looking for a stove oven combo.
No, range? You want a range? No, you're going to have to go down to Best Buy. Yeah.
Best Buy. But you guys do sell stoves, but no oven combo.
Just the top.
Sir, just read the sign, sir. Yeah. Just read the sign,
hot
sir.
Plates.
Stoves only, bro.
I know, but most people have a stove that is connected to an oven. You guys don't sell that at all.
No, we're old-fashioned.
Yep.
That you got to go to stoves and things.
Okay, fine.
This is just Magic City Stoves.
Okay, fine.
Quote, as the officer pulled up in his car, the female started running at the officer's vehicle and attempted to get inside of it, but the doors were locked. So,
that's a weird moment.
That's too
Arrest me.
Hold on a sec.
To...
He made contact with the female, who was repeatedly screaming, "Help me," and "I want my mom."
Well,
that is sweet.
This is very sad.
That is sweet. That just got really sweet.
No. The officer identified Burns, who appeared to be uninjured but very intoxicated.
Yeah.
He smelled the strong odor of an alcoholic beverage when she spoke. Her speech was slurred and loud.
That was just her pronouncing her name.
Her eyes were bloodshot and glassy, and her balance were poor. Okay, there's no reason to pile on. We get it. She's drunk.
By the way, just fighting a snowman in front of Magic.
It's a bit of a victimless crime.
Her hair was unkempt.
On top of all that, she was scared.
Her makeup was applied somewhat. I love that specifically.
With a lackluster attitude.
She could have done a little
was
better.
Barely hanging on.
She could have done a little better. She could have worn more rouge.
So he pulls up to see what this is about. She comes running at his lock squad.
She didn't have the figure she used to have in high school.
Wait,
her ankle to knee like ratio was disappointing at best.
She's scared, screaming for her mom.
Right.
And wanting to get inside.
This is a point as a cop where you're like, I now can solve this with a hug.
Yeah.
I wonder if he even just talked to her through the window. It's like, I'm not even getting out.
A tranquilizer gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or, like I always say,
blow dart.
Just a net.
Just a net.
Just a net.
Dan is a big fan of a net
with rocks in it.
A net would solve so many police
She's
problems.
not going to go anywhere. It's going to
Let
be
her
hard
tire herself out.
She'll get tangled in her own stuff.
You want like a lasso situation.
That works too.
A lasso or a
I
net.
love your lasso noise.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it sounds like a whippoorwill.
Your lasso work is impeccable.
I do a lot
whippoorwill
I do a
work
lot
is
of
very
Foley
good.
for Western.
You do. That's amazing. I was watching some.
There's a horse in here. No,
Are we in the
let's get
corral?
that horse
Hang
out
on a
of
second here.
Lasso him, Tim.
I was watching a Western movie and I forgot what it was. It was like a classic Western movie, and I was appalled at how how everything was recorded ADR after the fact.
Yeah.
Like there was, I guess the sound on the day was probably like super windy and you couldn't get it, but it was like. It sounded like it was recorded in a studio, and they're
sitting
out
down.
on the
Like somebody sitting down on the couch.
on the
in
range.
here.
Were
Like
they
us.
also in front of just a big cyc, like a big set painting?
No. It was out in the, but
Okay.
it just was like, it didn't even match up all the time. I'm
Right.
like, this is a classic Western movie, and like they really didn't care.
You get the idea.
I caught one of those like 40s or 50s pirates movies it was on TV, and it was like really bright and colorful, and you could tell they're on just a soundstage, and it looks so bright, like every corner was lit, and I was like, it must have been so fucking hot.
Oh my
Like
god!
shooting it down the street, some big sound stage,
Like
no air
Radford.
conditioning.
Yeah, exactly. Turn it off. We gotta.
blasting.
But really, if the sound didn't matter that much back then,
true.
let the air conditioning blow.
So he says, on top of all that, she was scared. Burns, that's Alexis Sue,
We know her.
asked, quote, who those people were and pointed to the decorative, albeit apparently uninjured blow-up Frosty, according to the police report.
Uninjured is a.
We actually have a picture of the Frosty the Snowman in front of Magic City Stoves.
So let me see this.
This
real
is who she was beating the shit out of.
Poor Frost.
He looks scared.
He looks scared.
He does look a little like,
His teeth are chattering.
I love Magic City Stoves.
I mean, that has got to be so frustrating,
I like
too.
to
For
imagine-
her, she's like beating the shit out of this thing, and then he just pops back
Yeah,
up.
you can't really connect with a blow-up doll like
you
that.
demon man. She points at the uninjured Frosty the Snowman, according to the police report. The officer informed Alexis Sue Burns that it was an inflatable snowman and Christmas decoration. Burns then stated, quote, "Oh," and became extremely
That's just good journalism.
That's it.
and became extremely relieved and was no longer scared. He changed her life.
Thank you.
She urinated. Extremely relieved.
Just let it all out.
It takes a turn, though, guys. This is the next sentence.
Oh,
she was
God.
no longer scared, but she wasn't cooperative either.
Of course not.
The officer repeatedly asked her what was wrong and what she needed help with, but she only responded, quote, "I'm not telling you." Alexis.
Y'all have to guess.
Sit the fuck down and guess.
And
guess.
He put her in the car because of the cold and asked her again why she needed help. She gave him an address and demanded he take her there as if he were a taxi or an Uber service. You want 5 stars, you asshole?
555 Oak Lane and step on
Step on
Do you
it.
got
Put them
gum in
sirens
here?
on.
Is there a charger for my phone, you son of a bitch?
There's no water back here. There's no water.
Turn on your lights.
I'm going to charge my phone.
Step on it.
Burns also made a number of incoherent statements about the officer
did.
taking her dad somewhere, and that is. Hold on, her statement's even weird. She made statements about the officer taking her dad somewhere, and that is what her God wanted him to do.
Okay.
Her God. Let me tell you about what my God.
Yeah.
My
I like
God.
when people refer to things as statements. Like this was something she considered and
Right.
wrote down.
Delivered at a press
I
conference.
would like to deliver a statement. People say that to me on my podcast like the next day, like, your statement about this. I'm like, statement? I'm just bullshitting for an hour.
It's off the cuff.
No.
There's no prompter.
No.
Your prepared remarks
Yeah, my prepared remarks.
Felt very, very hurtful.
triggered something in me.
The officer wasn't getting much from Burns. The other officer, all of a sudden there's a second cop,
Okay, good.
began
Me too.
asking her questions, and she responded by screaming profanities at him. Alexis cannot get out of her own
But I
way.
love that she's like, I'm going to have a different relationship with you. This
Both
guy's going to understand
Right.
what my
That's
God
how
is
I talk to
asking you to
Jim.
do.
This is how I talk to Doug.
The opposite of the good cop, bad cop experience. She's both.
She's good.
Well, she
perp,
knows
bad
she is.
perp.
She identified.
I'm
who
gonna
is
roll
the
some
good guy.
good perp, bad perp
This
on
is
these
a
guys.
thoroughly reported story, though. It seems
I
like
know.
into the weeds now we're going.
Burns was taken into custody for public intoxication and malicious mischief. Never have seen that
Malicious mischief. I've never
one.
heard.
A great band. They opened for Mustard Plug in '96.
The criminal mischief we get. Malicious mischief.
Seems like
is-
something Rumpelstiltskin would be involved in.
Exactly.
Criminal mischief. Malicious mischief.
She was taken to the Natrona County Jail and was uncooperative with deputies who immediately put her in a cell. Nope, you're going.
Going
right in.
straight. We're not even going to take a statement.
The
drunk
last
tank.
sentence on this is just, meanwhile, the inflatable snowman abides. We'll get out here on me showing you a picture that did not give her age. I'm guessing a solid 22. You guys can make your own guesses.
Oh, dear. Poor
she
thing.
has, and she
She's-
has the raised eyebrow of someone who's like, "Excuse me."
That's a long
No,
night.
I don't. I'm perfect.
That's
I'm
a
good.
long night. That's a long night.
By the way, and I'm gonna say this: she's cute.
Let me see
She's
again.
cute in that she's like.
I'm not going to judge.
She
she's
looks
not,
She looks like she could be
she's-
friendly.
When I say
She looks
cute,
like
I'm
She
not.
said she looks like she could be French.
She does look like she
Friendly.
could be
Could be
French.
Have you guys done follow-ups on any of these stories? That would
We
be
have,
interesting to
if they
see.
come through.
a
We
lot
have
of
to,
early deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to go to the next step. I don't know. This gal.
Alexis Sue Burns.
That's got to be the next phase of this podcast. Is you
Is-
bring her on and
Oh
talk
my
about what
How-
has
what
she
happened?
learned, and
I would love that.
because maybe it was a big benchmark moment for her. That
I
like
hope so.
Turned her life around.
yeah.
I want to hear more about her God. and what he's expecting
I'm
of the
sure
three
she'll
of
tell
us.
you.
All
I
right.
have changed.
That's story number 2,
All right,
friends.
Dan. What are we gonna get? And give us a little tease before we go to the break for story number 3.
A man uses pizza as a weapon for one of the strangest reasons I've ever encountered.
I cannot wait. Tim Heidecker's with us. This is Dumb People Town. Stay.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey there, Adam Conover here. Humans Who Make Games is my podcast where I sit down with the people who created some of your favorite video games and have the kind of long-form personal conversation we so rarely get to hear. We talk about how they got into the industry, what their favorite games were growing up, and what it's like working in the trenches of this century's greatest new art form. This season, we've got a whole batch of new interviews for you. I talked to Kim Swift from Portal, Alex Preston from Hyperlight Drifter, Anna McGill from Control, and Alex Beecham from the game Outer Wilds. Whether you love video games or you just love learning more about other artists' creative process, I can guarantee you're going to love this podcast. So, you can get Season 2 of Humans Who Make Games wherever you get your podcasts. Take a listen.
Hey guys, welcome back to DPT.
I want to ask you guys real quick, how was Portland, and do you have any more dates coming up?
Portland was fantastic.
Portland was amazing. Thank you to all the townies who came out for that. Someone was wearing a first Tigger third shirt.
Nice.
Which was amazing. And just all the townies love seeing you guys, and the shows were fantastic. I love that club.
That's great.
We're going to be in
That's so
Tulsa for one night on the 22nd.
Why only one night?
Because it's a 3-night thing.
Why only one night?
Right.
You can do 2 or 3 nights in Tulsa.
Yeah, you know.
Probably could.
Tell me something bad.
IDL Ballroom. It's going to
Friday night.
Friday night. And then
The 22nd.
Saturday, we're doing a show in Denver at the Elaine Wolf Theater. And then Sunday, we're in St. Louis at our old synagogue doing a benefit show for them. And that's pretty much it. Then in March, we're in Dallas.
March, we're in Dallas. Fort Worth on Thursday, which is actually, I think, better for
The
us.
22nd,
Nice.
I think.
At 21st. And then
22nd,
Is
Friday
in-
night, Dallas, 2 shows, and the third, or
is
the
in Plano.
20.
But we actually just added Bloomington, Indiana in May. Go to superscholars.com. You can see all that.
That's awesome.
I have
want
to say something real
Go
quick.
ahead,
You
buddy.
guys just, you can't see this. You guys just listed all that stuff without looking at any notes. You guys
we
just know that stuff.
we just put
That's
it in.
very
we just put it into the old
impressive.
Well, we also have to tell our families, and that's never that's never a good moment.
Honey, sit down.
We're gonna be away here.
Yeah.
No,
Your,
actually,
your dates better come correct when you have that
I
conversation.
walk in the room with my wife, and I'm like, sit the fuck down.
Sit down.
And here are my dates.
It's annoying because you're like, well, this is my job. Unfortunately, this is what I do.
Fortunately, we get booked here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that means more work for you while we're
Yeah,
gone.
exactly.
I want to let everybody know I have dates for my Together tour. We have more of them coming up. On March 8th, I will be in New Orleans, Louisiana. On the 9th, I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia. In Columbia, South Carolina on the 10th. Greenville, South Carolina on the 11th. Orlando, Florida on the 12th. And Jacksonville, Florida on the 13th.
You gotta find Jan.
Hang on one
I'm going
second.
to.
So we are. I got to mention this because we did mention this. We're doing a benefit for UCB.
Yeah.
It's a stand-up show that we're doing on the 28th at UCB Franklin.
Nice.
It's been a long time since we've been back at UCB.
For
Franklin.
UCB?
It is for UCB. They had some bad stuff happen in New York that with their with
The rent.
Raising rents and some crazy tax things that were really, really.
and so they're doing some shows to benefit. So we have a great show with Al Madrigal, Ian Abramson,
Awesome.
Morgan Murphy, I believe, is going to do it, and
Sure, that's on the 28th.
John Renitsky.
February 28th.
yeah, that's February 28th.
I mean,
It's the
look at
last
it,
day
guys.
of the month.
So here's
February 28th,
hey guys,
UCB, Galveston, Texas Parade, the 4th Dumb People Town.
it's all
We're
good.
giving
and,
you your
and
social
all of
counter.
Tim at timheidecker.com
And see
On Cinema
/events.
Live.
Yes,
coming
we've
all
lots
over
of
the
stuff
place.
to do live. All right, let's get in this last crazy ass
Okay,
story.
let's do it.
Pizza as a weapon.
Sent in by Jacob Benoit, Benoit,
Benoit?
at Atmos fan. He loves those theaters. Atmos, ATMOS. Have you guys been to any of those?
Are they good
It's great
theaters?
sound. Yeah, they have them at some of the arc lights. It's an Atmos, like Dolby surround. It's crazy sound.
Doubly.
Florida. A Florida man became enraged for some reason.
Okay, that could be the beginning
That's
of
any story. That's
End
like
of story.
Right.
That's like any Florida man ever.
Became
For
enraged
some reason.
For some reason.
Who knows?
When he found out his dad helped deliver him at birth.
Oh,
Ah, I see. So
Why would that make you mad?
I mean, to me,
It didn't just make him mad. It made him enraged.
He's in jail after hitting his father with a pizza. There's so many turns to that
A
one.
slice or a whole pie?
Whole
I think
pie,
a whole pie.
And did he
Which
throw
is
it
just
like
wasteful.
throw it like a frisbee?
Deep dish?
Yeah.
Robert Houston.
By the way, deep dish
Could hurt.
That could hurt.
That could hurt.
Yeah,
If it was
Deep
piping hot, too.
Be delicious.
Some weight to a piping hot deep
getting
dish.
that
coming.
crust
Sauce,
casserole to the
just like
face.
Singeing your
Robert
face.
Houston was arrested for domestic battery and booked into the county jail on Thursday, according to a news release. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office said deputies were called to a home in Holiday and found, you were right, Tim, a slice of pizza on a chair and cheese and sauce all over the area.
You
Guys,
want-
it's
you
all
want
over the
pepper?
area.
All over the air. So he missed. He missed
Tape it
on a
off.
few.
Tape it off. It's all over. You need a pizza splatter
By the way,
expert to
and
get in here.
exactly, the pizza splatter expert from the staircase. They're
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
swinging down.
No,
and
I
they-
think an owl ate this pizza.
Why?
An owl came in
I
with this
found
pizza.
one owl feather on the top of the pizza.
I know I go to sleep every night just as happy as can be, knowing I was delivered by a doctor with my daddy nowhere in sight.
Hang on a
And
second.
should I find anything
Oh,
different?
shit.
Should I find anything different?
Reg.
Son,
I shall turn red.
Hang on,
Reg,
son.
what is it you got to say to me?
son, I was
Reg.
son.
Don't say it, damn it.
I
There was a
actually.
doctor and a nurse, and you were in the other room.
They were there, and then I actually
Oh, no.
assisted with the birth. And
Oh,
now
you
it's time
son
for you
of
to
a
know
bitch,
that.
you.
Get his ass,
Give me
Reg.
my-
You know that there was one
Get
person,
him, get
person cheering him on at least.
You hit him. You hit him good. Give me that motherfucker. Give me them breadsticks.
Let me put some chili flakes on that. Hit him. You hit him.
The breadsticks.
How
Give me
dare you pull me from my mother's womb?
The one thing I have in life.
I wanted to
is the
stay in.
knowledge.
I wanted to stay in there. And you pulled
got
me
me.
out, you son of a bitch.
The
Put me to
one,
work.
if I know anything in this life, it is that a doctor put his hands on me inside of my mother.
I had a vision of my daddy in the waiting room with the cigars and his old buddies.
Talking about stuff.
Houston's father told deputies he was walking his dogs.
That was an impression of a Southern Man and Bill Cosby.
I loved it.
I liked all of it. I liked all
See,
of it.
I was born.
And he was putting the baby out of the mother.
All
Problematic.
babies must be born without their daddies in the room.
I
See?
regret nothing. That's what he just said.
Houston's
I read
father-
that on a thing, like in a little news thing.
I'll do it again.
Bill Cosby regrets
That's
nothing.
nothing.
I'm like, why don't you take a moment?
Well, you
and-
don't get to being a lifelong monster by having regrets.
How about start with Leonard Part 6?
I do this thing, and I've done it before, but it's Bill Cosby in jail. See, you get the jail cell, and it goes clink. And to
Jail
get
is
down
great.
to the cafeteria, and you get the bread and the water, and to go out on the yard and to play the basketball. See,
I like that. Image.
give me the jumpsuit. See, I got my sweater which says "Hello, friend,"
and a number.
and you drop the soap. See, oh.
He's doing observational comedy about
That's
jail.
And he would be. That would be a bit.
Houston's father told deputies he was walking his dogs as his son was on the front porch waiting for a pizza delivery. That you want pizza too much if you're out on the porch waiting for it.
Is it here? Is
like
it here?
like a kid waiting for
I
his
thought
dad.
I heard something. It's like he's like the dog running across the porch until it comes.
When the father returned home, Houston shoved the pizza in his face and held him down on a chair and started yelling at him, according to arrest report.
I can't breathe.
The victim began to flail around trying to get the defendant off of him, at which point the defendant went outside and awaited law enforcement. 2 other family members collaborated.
So wait, he's
I know
waiting
where to go. I know. I've
Or-
done the drill before.
Or the police came and they're like, he thought, get him. Go
Right,
get him.
yeah.
You know what this man did? He delivered me.
It is still unclear why this news set Houston off.
Well, do your job. Find this, like, report
What's
this story.
unclear?
Don't
Ask the
file this
question.
story until you have that.
Figure it out.
Deputies said they arrived to find Houston outside of the home. Quote, he walked up to me, turned around, putting his hands behind his back, saying, he says, quote, I know I'm going to take him to jail. the deputy wrote in the report.
Yep.
Houston
know it.
was transported to Land O'Lakes Detention Center. Which
Well, was he
sounds
like
too
put in a
nice.
helicopter?
Yeah,
Transported.
Bring it in.
He was airlifted to the detention center. He was not injured, but
Where he was being held on a $150 bond.
that may be
That's
too much.
That's a lot.
I'm going to show you his picture.
It's more than he can afford. He's gonna
That
stay
is
there.
that. I'm not joking. That is 27 pizzas.
I'm going to show you the picture, and you guys
Let's
can
keep
play
him. Let's put him away for a long time. Let's set the bail at
150. He ain't getting out of that.
No.
a final round of Guess the Agey.
Okay, here we go.
And you can see the picture first. How old is Robert Houston?
The
Funny if he
man, the
was
man
6
who
months
freaked
old.
out.
The
Yes.
man who freaked out.
There's a little baby there.
How great would that be?
It's the only thing that would make sense.
Oh my God!
You
that'd
know,
be
there's
so-
two things about him. He loves pizza
Yep.
and hates that his dad
delivered him.
delivered him.
Had a hand in it at least.
There he is.
Wow!
Oh my God.
How old do
my
you think
God.
Robert Houston is?
Too much fun leaves marks in life. Living hard, you'll pay the price. Who is gonna get it right? Guess the age. Guess the age.
Still going with 6 months?
Robert C-section Houston. Look at this guy.
All right.
Okay, do you want to go first, Tig, or third?
Where do you want to go?
I'll go Tig.
Okay,
Okay.
Jake. So
Rand or
Jake.
Jay?
Jay, go.
Guy's 41.
41 years old.
Tim.
Yeah, I'll say like 40. I'll go 44.
44. He does look old, but he also could not look good.
Those mugshots are not flattering. Like
They're
they're
not.
adding a
You
couple
never
years.
look great.
Not a lot of glamour in those shots.
I mean, I think he's 51 and he's still living at home.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And they were like, we're going to wait till he's 50 and then we'll tell him. He'll be fine by then.
This is crazy.
yeah.
I want to know
41.
more about this experience.
Yeah.
All right, Townies. Let's review. Jay says
41.
41. Tim says
44.
44.
I said 51.
You say 51. Okay. All right, get your answers in now. We're going to get out of here on this. Go to supersklars.com for all their dates. Go to danielvankirk.com for the next run of my tour. And go to Bandcamp Tim Heidecker to get that song.
To get the songs. And the name of the song that you just wrote about his height is called
I
wish
forgot.
I- no.
I want to be I'm as tall as I want to be.
I
Thank you.
love it.
It is so catchy. It is so good.
And
I
listen to
know.
Office
they heard
Hours,
it.
too.
And
Listen
And
to
check out
Office
Office Hours
You can hear
and
how
go
Phil's
Cinema
doing.
Live.
and go to timheidecker.com
Okay, here we go.
/events. Okay, here we go.
Robert Houston,
PI.
loving pizza, pissed at his dad,
4-4.
is 33 years
Oh
old.
my God.
He did not.
Look
Terrible.
33.
Wow.
That's 33.
horrible.
This is how a
Jesus.
picture
That's
can mess with your
33.
brain.
I look
Oh
at this
my
and I'm
God.
like, Judd Apatow, this is 40.
This is not
That ain't no 33.
terrible.
33.
Oh my God. What
God
a
bless him.
great day in town today. Tim Heidecker, you will come on and do a live one with us at Largo.
Thank
We
you.
will
Oh, yeah,
get
we'd
you.
love that.
You're our
Appreciate
friend.
you guys.
Yeah. We're gonna
This is so great, and I
bring
can't
you
wait
in.
to just continually consume all the great stuff that you put
Oh,
out in
thank
this
you,
world.
boys.
Agreed.
And oh shit, we got to get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
It's a good show.